What does it mean to you to hear me say healthy masculinity?
To me, healthy masculinity would be,
oh God,
well, you know what, healthiness for anyone to just, love themselves, people to care for themselves, ideally get rest when they can, like just the practical basic, drink water, like eat a banana, and also just...
this is some bullshit.
Like, it was in my pregnancy that I realized I identify as non-binary, as a non-binary woman. We're missing this opportunity for the trans experience to be...
What are you talking about?
This, just particularly pronounced and accessible example of finding your true self.
Guys, we got ourselves in a little bit of a pickle here today, all right? A little bit of a conundrum, if you will, all right? Because once again, women are trying to tell men how to be men. And the same women who scream that men's standards, requirements, and expectations do not matter are now trying to define what healthy masculinity is supposed to be. The interesting thing is that the person in question today was a woman and has transitioned into being a man. Woman for 33 years, man for 3 years. And the other interesting thing is that this person is a famous Hollywood actor, actress, okay? Now, this person's name is now Elliot Page, and I did not know who this sir ma'am was, so I had to do a little bit of digging, okay? And Elliot Page, let me bring up on the screen I'm gonna get this confused all throughout. I'm just gonna say that to you guys right now. Elliot Page used to be Ellen Page. There you go. That's what Elliot Page looks like right now. Elliot Page, as a woman, was in X-Men, okay? Back in the day, Days of Future Past. There she goes right here. Also was in the hit movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, Inception, way back in 2010. You can see her right over here. And I also have a side-by-side comparison right here. 33 years as a woman, 3 years as a man. Damn, son. I thought it's easy being a man, you heard? You can see the stress is just, you know what I'm saying? The reality of being in a part of a gender that, is not as kind to women. This is what tends to happen. Nevertheless, I'm going to go through the content because the interviewer is asking now Elliot Page about healthy masculinity. So let's see these comments and let's diagnose. Without further ado.
I've been asking people about masculinity and femininity. We are seeing so much, and I mean our entire lives, we've seen so much unhealthy masculinity, so much sickness in this world, specifically through the lens of men. And in your gender journey, which to me, as someone who knows you, but also as someone consuming you as a public figure, to me, you appear healthy and continually finding more health and security. What does it mean to you to hear me say healthy masculinity?
Healthy masculinity to me is, or even just something I've felt as transitioning, is like leaning away from whenever there is some sort of impulse or expectation you've put on yourself to shut down or conform in a way that usually feels like this, like I am closing off. I remember kind of being like, oh, Elliot, maybe you should, talk with your hands a little less, or, maybe in pictures, because ever since transitioning, now I'm like, Johnny, I am smiling in those photos. Whereas I used to be I could barely look at a photo of myself. I was always like, and now, and I'll be say a dude's like, hey, are you Victor from Umbrella Academy? And we're doing a photo together. He's very, I'm very, and having that moment where I'm like, oh, should I also not? Should I also be
closed
off?
It's
just like, what the fuck, Elliot? What are you talking about? Like, oh, honey, you're the part of the problem. So I think it's, to me, healthy masculinity would be,
oh God,
well, you know what, healthiness for anyone to just, love themselves, people to care for themselves, ideally get rest when they can, just the practical basic, drink water, eat a banana, and also just...
I'm sorry. Tell me you don't know what masculinity is without telling me you don't know what, what masculinity is. Everything that this person is describing is just being healthy. It's just being a healthy, being who you are, not how someone wants you to be, not conforming to other people's ideals or picture of what they think or you should conform to. This is all just being a healthy, good person. What if you could copy the exact system that I use to generate between $50,000 and $100,000 a month purely from posting commentary content online? My life right now consists of no boss, no commute, no alarm, and I work when I want. And I've spent the past 8 years building this framework out from scratch. And 1 million subscribers later, over 400 million lifetime views, and I've never once talked about exactly how I do it. Until now. Now, my system is called Viral to Value, and it's the step-by-step blueprint that I personally use every single day to turn viral moments into real, life-changing income in any niche. If you're ready to stop guessing and start building something that is actually yours, click the link below and let's get to work. Everything that this person is talking about can apply to a woman as well, okay? It's not specific to masculinity. But let's proceed.
Doing what you can to be intentionally and mindfully, not letting yourself get like swayed or twisted by
Okay.
the rules that I feel like end up like leading to so many of the problems that we see that are, do get inflicted by toxic masculinity. Violence and abuse, just general cruelty. And I think it's just like healthy masculinity could just mean a really good cry. I just want to make sure I'm always like leaning away from that pull to shut off emotionally.
All right, shut up. You should have stayed a woman. Listen, the violence or all of the negative things that you talk about in regards to non-healthy masculinity has nothing to do with masculinity. Those are just evil people. Getting closer to just let out a cry doesn't make your masculinity better or more healthy. Let's redefine this. Masculinity is the set of traits and or behaviors that should be socially or culturally acceptable by men. Typically, these behaviors align with physical strength, stoicism, frame, being disciplined, providing leadership. The more that men pour into these and make these things better, the better a society will be. Not the more that they cry and be vulnerable or be more like women, the better the society will be. And by the way, in times of peril or great need, a man may have to be violent. A man may have to be aggressive. A man may have to defend you by any means necessary. A man at that time, not displaying masculinity, will fold and buckle under the weight of the world and the pressure. And you can't lean on him to get you out of danger. Real men have to solve problems. They have to stay grounded. They have to find solutions, and they have to use logic when the pressure is at its peak. These types can describe toxic masculinity all day, but when it's time to explain, well, what does good masculinity look like? Suddenly it gets weird. Suddenly it gets vague. Suddenly the definitions tend not to make sense, and it's all of these nicely coded words sort of wrapped in together with like this deafening silence to denote that the answer is correct. Decode further, because what we actually see here is a confused person that does not know what he and or she is because her brain has been melted by the propaganda in the ilk of Hollywood.
That pull to shut off emotionally.
I'm hearing like an openness,
Yeah.
practicing opening.
Be a woman.
Because it's so true, like a closed off.
And it happened, and the closed off could lead to just impatience. It could lead to whatever it is. I'm trying so much to just be like, when that happens, it's like, Elliot, shoulders back, take a few breaths, It really makes a difference.
But
You were like that before the transition.
when we are organized through this such a strict, rigid system, the pressure to conform, we don't realize how that pressure to conform is suppressing our health, restricting our nervous system. This is kind of what I was like thinking about being in love and the relaxation. And my
How do
journey
women watch
with gender and sexuality has like opened up so much since becoming a parent. The physical experience of making a person and then getting that person out of my body, like that has been a huge touchstone for me for opening up my own pressure to conform. Like it was in my pregnancy that I realized I identify as non-binary, as a non-binary woman in pregnancy. And that was when my sex like opened up. And actually I was able to finally take in the relax and the surrendering to my partner that I didn't realize, I didn't even know how tightly I was holding on to it. But it is that pressure to conform that restricts us, that we don't even know we're being held so tightly by. And it's painful for everybody. It's cruel. You saying cruelty as related to the patriarchy, it's unfortunately true. You know, the trans experience of finding your comfort in your body is particularly visible, and yours as a person who's been famous for so long is particularly pronounced. But this is actually emblematic of how everybody feels in this
cannot
society,
believe this.
wrong in their bodies. As women being told we're too fat, we're too thin, not curvy enough, too curvy. Cis men are taking tea. Cis men take tea and then are loudly transphobic, podcasters, whatever. And we're missing this opportunity for the trans experience to be
What are you talking about?
this like just particularly pronounced and accessible example of finding your true self.
One thing I feel really...
Oh, God. I'm beginning to understand now how people in these elks, right? Like, because at the end of the day, we are tribal people. And believe it or not, it's very easy to convince a human being to do some really dastardly shit, right? Like, just open up a history book and I'll prove that to you, okay? But if you hear something long enough, right? And if it's enough bullshit enough, right? Then you may start to actually believe it. Shit, I just went through a online squabble with somebody who's been lying to his audience for years, and the audience just believes what he is saying. Nevertheless, ma'am, what are you talking about? Let me go back over here. Did she just correlate her discovering non-binary and conforming with the patriarchy? And it just held me to a standard. I'd be pissed. Is she married? I'd be like, wait, wait a minute. What? You figured this out while the baby is cooking? while the baby is cooking? No, I'm forced to deal. Now, who's the dude? I need to interview him. He's over there sitting in a dark corner somewhere in LA. Just like, can't believe she tricked me. But ma'am, the standards, the expectations that people put on each other is irrespective of patriarchy, matriarchy, right? It's male expectations on the men and women and female expectations on the men and the women. For example, when have you heard a man say, hey, you need to wear more makeup? Men are not saying this. It's women and also brands and advertisers that are trying to convince you that you need more and more and more. Most men do not give about half of the things that women do to themselves or stress about. It's women putting the expectations on the women. But they talk shit about cis men who say, hey, listen, I like my women to be in shape. But what about body positivity? Like what? This is absurd. As if it's toxic within your masculinity to have a body preference of your significant other. Why will you not choose the high-calorie woman, the Lizzo-sized woman? Oh, you dirty, toxic man. Be okay with how she demonstrates her gut up on these social media streets and throw them flapjacks and them damn Dunlap disease all up in your damn home screen. Like, I just opened up the app. Why do I see her belly button? I am so happy that people have begun to push back on these ridiculous narratives and that we have platforms now to speak about this, because this was happening in back rooms and in mainstream media for decades now without any dissenting opinion about the things that they are talking about, or feedback, criticism on the thing, just so to enter in a different perspective, more accurate and more aligned to the truth. By the way, the people on the other side is going to be looking at this, are going to be like, oh, he's phobic, all this other bullshit. I am absolutely not. I don't give a shit what y'all are doing, as long as you don't involve our kids, baby. As long as you don't bring that shit into the classroom in front of children and shit like that, because those are the most feeblest minds, okay? As long as y'all ain't do that, as adults, y'all can do what y'all want. And as an adult, she made this decision to cross over, and I'm judging her words off of masculinity. She's being asked, and if she don't really know, she's going to continue to propagate bullshit to people who watch trash content like this. Anyway, let's go.
One thing I feel really fortunate about,
Okay.
like, getting nominated for an Oscar when I was 20 or whatever. And
Harry Potter?
having that happen when I was so young,
Mm-hmm.
and in that period feeling the worst, like absolutely just not okay,
Yeah, but-
in those years following, and to learn that lesson so young, like to go like, I actually don't, that's not what I care about, and something's not okay here, and like to be in a place now where I can like reflect on that, and like just sort of where my priorities are, where they are creatively, like there's just, I feel so lucky to have learned that young.
Okay.
That you could have this thing that everyone's saying is the dream come true, and people's obsession with fame and or what
Yeah.
success means, and don't get me wrong, of course it comes with
Sure.
it helps your career, of course, but I just mean like it gave me such a, I think, profoundly important lesson so young, and in some ways I feel like that relates to like conformity, or how people think they should approach life, or they get lost in an idea of what success means to them or what have you. And like in terms of my transness, I feel so lucky because I feel like I've gone from a place where I could barely function, I was so uncomfortable, to now kind of no matter what's going on, like my feet are on the ground. And I had to do all that digging, and I had to like scrape through all those layers and not worry about what people were going to say or think and all that.
Okay. It seems that this person was unhappy at the time that they were the most successful within their career. Many people can actively relate to this, but this has nothing to do with this whole healthy masculinity, unless they're going to try to wrap it around that it's somehow due to the patriarchy that she could. Let's see.
Gosh, when you do get like, feel like liberated from that and that shame that you've been carrying, like that is what I would wish for everybody.
Sure.
For
I agree.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that's what trans and gender non-conforming people can offer. And and of course people in power, what have you, these like, white supremacist patriarchal structures don't want people to feel liberated.
Yeah.
And feel that sense of
I knew it
power,
was
and
coming.
feel that sense of possibility.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, nor do they want to lose a societal structure that
Holy
keeps so
moly.
many people oppressed and resources extracted and everything that it leads to.
Okay.
That is so brilliant.
I don't think I can watch any more of this, right? Like, I feel like my brain leaking out my ears. If you guys want me to watch more of this, leave it down below in the comment section. I don't think that I can bear this stuff anymore. But to wrap this at the end as blaming the patriarchy for your right, like you live in the freest world, right? The freest country in the world. The free, right? Like the most amount of opportunity. one of which your dollar is so damn strong worldwide, one of which you can go anywhere in the planet, mostly anywhere in the planet. You can't go to like North Korea, at least I think, right, from where your visa allows you to go, okay? But you're in this place of this complete blame of something else, this structure that is trying to withhold you, right? Like, when meanwhile, is there undiagnosed mental health issues here, okay? Do you need to talk to a therapist, right? Because essentially you've put yourself into a place where, okay, you can figure this out on your own, okay? You can let it all free. You could do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel actually whole, if this does. And if you really don't have no buyer's remorse. But then blaming this whole society around you when no one was stopping you from doing this. And in fact, it was your own internal struggle, your own embarrassment, right? Your own misdirection from whatever your truth was and the way that you were living your life or the way that you were being shown up on the TV screen or the movie screen. That has nothing to do with other people or a patriarchy or a toxic masculine society or whatever they're saying. It's like like you're trying to become a man. Meanwhile, you still have these vaguely, thinly veiled anti-man words and sentiment, right? Like, you're supposed to be on our team now, baby. Like, what is the meaning of this? You heard? All right, guys. I think, that's why I think I've been getting active on this. I haven't lit my candle here today. I got to get that feng shui going. Okay, but listen, and here's the thing is that I went into this conversation saying to myself, I'm going to try to take this as serious as what I possibly can. But that's why so many dudes, like, we look at stuff like this and we're just like, what is this? If not just downright laugh. And not because we hate the criticism that is coming from their mouths, but because when you actually listen and peel back that dirty little onion of the things that they are saying, you begin to understand that it comes from this place of unwellness within their self and nothing to do with the masculinity that they're blaming, right? They're misdirecting a burden and have no idea what they're talking about. When you ask them something, okay, well, what does it look like when it's good? They say airy-fairy weird bullshit. Okay? It's like getting financial advice from a homeless person that cosplays as a millionaire, okay, on Friday nights by the bar. This is essentially what it is, okay? He's a trans rich person, okay? just ask him what it's like being a rich person. Well, it's just one of those things that just, as he's got a needle sticking out of his arm and shit. It's just one of them things. It's just how it is that we feel. But the man just used to just keep us down all of the. I can't do this no more. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down up in the comment box down below. Do you agree with the points and positions that I have? Do you disagree with the points and positions that I have? Okay, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Light it up, and let's continue on having these critical, focused, and based discussions, right? Because I'm not saying that I have it all right. All right. But I do know what it means to be a masculine man and the imperative that it is on men and the reality behind that. And I often think that we have peacified the world, for lack of a better term, peacified. I don't even know that's a word. I'm going to make it up right now. We have peacified the world enough where the threat of violence for most people is not real. There is not an enemy at the gate. So there's like this new sort of definition, and we already, especially the black community, have a missing father crisis. So there's like this new sort of definition of being masculine swirling around there. And I think it's creating some of the weakest men we have ever seen in our society. So anyway, let's continue on having these conversations. Guys, I love you. Protect yourself at all times. And as always, I will see you guys very, very soon. Until next time. Peace.
So, without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR, he break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound when it's MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.